Sometimes life is great and we have so many things to talk about. This is so much good fun right in front of me right now that I am just in audiophile bliss, absolutely bliss, listening to amps, DAC, streamers, and even analog. Today we have a special character to talk about. We have the Fosi ZA3 here. Cool little amplifier provided to me by APOS. All thoughts and opinions are mine. If you're not aware, APOS is now selling Fosi products, which I think is amazing because unless you buy on Amazon direct from Fosi, your return policy is horrible through Fosi. So if you have problems, you don't like it, you have a big problem with Fosi. So now you actually have a distributor in the United States who will get you these products and with excellent customer service. So head over there and there will be links down below. So if you are interested in buying this, don't go to Amazon, just head over to APOS, let them help you out. This actually was shipped to me from Ohio, so pretty darn cool. But anyways, we need to get into it. So the Fosi ZA3 here, amazing little, and if you're not aware, this is actually like twice the size of a normal Fosi amplifier. So it's really cool what they've done here. And I do like the black box with the orange knob. I think it's just pretty cool. We're gonna turn it on here, momentary on. At first, that kind of didn't work, but since I powered it up initially, it kind of works. With this unit, you have both XLR and RCA inputs, and you have mono and stereo amp. So you could basically run this, as most people run in stereo, or you could have it bridged and run mono and run two of these. I'm not sure since the new kind of mono amps that they're coming out based off the V3s, but anyways, this is kind of what they do. I start my journey, I always go from one thing to the other thing, and I've been listening to this Music Share X7 for a while now. I've been tube rolling and kind of in dreamland with this amplifier. Hopefully I'll get a review out soon. Because I own it, I like to take my time and just kind of enjoy it, not just think of things as review items. So, but that will be coming up, and this thing, yeah, I'm not going to say anything. But back to this beautiful amplifier. So all my listening has been through the IEM Pro streamer right there into the Holo Audio Cyan 2 DAC. So this amplifier, by the way, is $129. I believe it's on sale right now, 5% off at APOS. So whatever that equates to. So let's just say it's 120 bucks, right? So basically the Cyan 2 is 10 times more expensive. So the quality of what I'm feeding this is a little bit not right, but it'll get the point across. If there's anything that's going to determine how this thing sounds, it's going to be a great DAC, an average streamer. I love the IEM infrastructure, the app, streaming capabilities. I just wish it had I2 squared and better streamer. But we'll put that aside. It works and it's fine. So Fosi Audio ZA3, as you might be aware, you can get multiple power supplies. This one came stock with 32 volts. And yes, you're not going to get what they claim, 600 watts, all these weird numbers that Fosi claims. So with 32 volts, you are going to probably get somewhere around 50 amps of amplification, or 50 watts, I'm sorry. Probably closer to 45 in my case. So I really had to crank this up, even compared to a tube amp. So yeah, this thing, and if you go up to 48 volts, you're probably going to get twice as much. I'm not sure exactly the numbers, somewhere probably around 80 or 90 total watts of power coming out of here. So it's really good value for the money. And listening to this, just it kind of makes your heart break because it sounds so good. And if you've watched this channel before, my personal amplifier that I've been trying to beat and have yet to do so is the Musical Fidelity M3 SI. I absolutely love it. And if you've been to this channel, when listening to amplifiers, the thing that I pay attention to the most is clarity is number one. And what do I mean by clarity? That whatever I connect to it, if I'm connecting a DAC, a streamer, or if I'm using my turntable and I'm trying different phono amps, I want to know how those devices sound different. And if the preamp section of an amplifier is trying to smooth over the sound or soften the sound or warm up the sound, I don't like that. I don't want coloration. I just want it to get out of its way. The preamp there is to basically attenuate the volume, right? All you want it to do is turn up the power. You don't want it to do anything to the sound. Now, there are some that do like that warm, smooth sound, and some believe that that is hi-fi. And you're fine for your own beliefs. No one's going to tell you otherwise. That is just your preference. My preference is I want clarity and details that can come through the music by not coloring the sound. And I find the Fosi ZA3 does not do that. And that is what I look for. The second thing that I look for is soundstage. So, yeah, obviously with a tube amp over here, you know, you're going to get amazing holographic soundstage. It's going to knock your socks off. The Musical Fidelity M3SI is one of the better amplifiers as far as soundstage depth, width, and especially noticeable when you connect in a DAC or a turntable. So for my channel, my purposes, the Musical Fidelity M3SI is my reference because it does such a wonderful thing for things I connect it to. You may watch a review and you can hear someone talking about a product, you go get it and it says it sounds nothing like that reviewer talked about. And there are many reasons why, and it's because your preamplifier section of whatever you have is coloring the sound and you're not going to get the same output. So you got to pay close attention to what you're connecting to and how it sounds and soundstage and all this stuff to get equivalent in your system. Now for me, in this area down here, this is not my, this is what I call a reference system. It's no mean by the highest end. It just means that everyday Joe is going to have a system like this. You may have the Technics SL1210 GR over here, okay? Or 1200, you know, you may have the standard model. You may have a tube amplifier over here. So this represents the everyday Joe system. If I plug it in, you know what you're going to get. If I had a reference system of $20,000, $40,000, $50,000, you're not going to have the same quality, and why would you watch a review when you don't own that system? So I try to put this together for those who have common products and you know how things sound. So I've been on a little bit of my music listening journey recently. I heard a song, not predominantly in the genres that I listen to. This one is in the hip-hop rap segment, which I don't really listen to, but I heard the song and I could not stop listening to it. It's Kendrick Lamar, Not Like Us. And it starts with, I see dead people. And it caught my attention, the rhyme, everything that's going on there. I've got to listen. Now, I'm very careful because, as you may know, with your own streaming systems, I use Amazon Music. If I play that song, all of a sudden I have a whole load of rap in my system for probably the next week until I, you know, fast forward through every one of those songs in my playlist. So you got to be a little bit careful, but I highly suggest you go hear that. I am not a rap or hip hop enthusiast. I do like old school Snoop, Dr. Dre, Tupac. I do like some of the older things, and Beastie Boys. So it was just, I heard the song and I absolutely loved it. And listening through here, I kind of fell in love because this thing digs deep. The bass in this thing.
Walking down the whole time, I know he got some.
It reminds me of the Musical Fidelity M3SI. And probably because of that, I'm going to buy it. I'm just getting the word out. I'm going to buy this unit and keep it because it sounds exactly like the Musical Fidelity M3SI. And so if you want to watch that review, you'll know how it sounds. So with that said, the bass is not super tight. It's not like super class D high damping levels where it feels like even when Chris Cornell's singing, for example, in the songbook, sometimes it feels like he should be using you know, a pop filter or something, because when the damping factor gets so high that it actually, you can hear that in the bass, and it's just thumping your speakers really, you know, whenever he's, you know, making his singing sounds. So damping factor is a critical thing, and some amplifiers do it really well. And musical fidelity, I would call, is more on the looser side. It's not quite boomy. It's just tight enough that it gives you more presence in the bass, because the notes last longer rather than this super fast tight bass. It's just round enough to make, like that hip hop, like I said, Kendrick Lamar sound really, really good. So I was really happy with that. Next, recently went to Sonic Temple here in Ohio and to watch a lot of the metal bands. As you know, I'm a metalhead. And Following Reverse actually stole the show. I'll try to pop up some footage from that concert, but
Alright, you guys, I need you to let every fucking emotion out right now. All the depression, all the anxiety. Right now, you let that shit out. Right now, are you ready? Let's go. I wake up every morning with my head up in a daze. I'm not sure if I should say this, but I'll say it anyway. Everybody tries to tell me that I'm going through a phase. I don't know if it's a phase. I just want to feel good.
And of course it sounds crap because it's recorded on my phone. It doesn't represent how it sounds to the person. But Following Reverse is one of those bands I absolutely love. They actually did a reimagined song of Linkin Park, which you've got to hear. So he takes a high energy Linkin Park song and really almost turns it into a ballad. Absolutely gorgeous, beautiful. But anyways, I've been on this kick. And actually, Following Reverse just released last week a song with Jelly Roll. So I've been listening to that, and it's kind of got this rock, country, soundish kind of thing, which is cool for Following Reverse. And it sounded actually amazing on this amplifier. Now, my speakers right now are JBL Studio 590s. I absolutely love them. Big speakers. I got a big area down here, and they dig deep. And this amplifier supplied everything that those speakers need. So quite pleased. Then I moved on to some other Following Reverse songs. I'll pop up some pictures there, and there's one they did in a concert. I'll try to pop that up, and maybe some recorded kind of sounds. Hopefully I don't get any problems with Following Reverse for playing some sound clips. But anyways, if you haven't heard of Following Reverse, I highly suggest you go check them out. Highly diverse kind of soundtracks. They've totally evolved recently, and live they are great. So Ronnie Radke from Following Reverse is one of my favorites right now. So highly like this amplifier. But I have to say, when I first started listening, everything was done via RCA output of the Holo Audio Cyan 2. Didn't like it. Didn't like it at all. Switched over to XLR, and separation imaging soundstage just exploded with this amplifier. So that's kind of for me, the takeaways is you got to run XLR, get yourself a good DAC streamer, feed it good stuff. It'll give you it's in spades on the way out. I feel like past the bass area, mid bass is absolutely perfect. Again, sounds like Musical Fidelity M3SI. The only way this departs from Musical Fidelity's sound signature to me is it even has more treble. So if you don't like Musical Fidelity because it has a lot of treble energy, then you're probably not going to like the Fosi Audio products. This ZA3 is amazing, and to me it outperforms amplifiers, you know, that cost over $1,000. So it's very good, but you got to like treble energy. You got to like a little bit of that looser bass that fills in kind of the features in the lower registers, so it sounds really good. And I'm not going to compare it to you know, this amplifier, which I don't know at the time I bought this used, but I think it was going for around $1,400. KT88 sound, because the sound signature of tube amps, well, you know, I'm tube swapping, so every time I introduce a new tube, it has a different sound. So It's hard to do a review of a tube amp because they sound so different based on the tubes that you put in there. I can say stock tubes, MusiShare, you know, it's a different sound than this sound over here. So everyone has a sound signature they like, and for me, you know, this here for $129 is an absolute steal. Now, the first amplifier I got from Fosi was the BT20A, I believe, and I believe it's probably about a third of the size, or maybe 2/3 of this size. So I didn't do a review of it because I felt like I was listening to it. I loved it. I knew it sounded like Musical Fidelity. Didn't have the power, and then you know, everyone was, because you can op amp roll this, so you can go in there and change the op amps if you don't like the sound signature. So again, it's kind of like tubes. You can kind of do the same thing. Instead of tube swapping, you can op amp swap in this, and you change the sound signature. So I don't want to do any of that. I didn't review the BT20A. It's been on my desk. If you see my headphone amplifiers, I use it for near field. I believe this is a better unit for more of the standard stereo stuff, not desktop. I would say the smaller units, given the power output, it's hard to put them into a big system, especially with JBL Studio 590s, and try to fill out a big room. This one can do it, and I would highly suggest, if you're buying it, just upgrade to the 48 volt, just get out of the way, because you're going to buy this and then you're going to say, I should go get that, and then you're going to spend more money if you didn't do it initially. So hey, I appreciate you stopping in the thrift shop. If you can, just hit the buttons down below. Costs you nothing, helps out little channels like myself, and appreciate it. Peace.